After all the money, time, and effort Yo Gotti poured into winning Angela Simmons' heart, everyone thought she'd be crowned the queen of Memphis for real.
No.
No.
I'm not with him.
No.
Aw. Yeah. Not by choice, but, I respect him. It's all love. Like,
it's not your choice?
I wouldn't have chose it, but it was what was best, but I wouldn't have chose it, no.
They looked like the power couple who'd cruise off into the sunset, living that boss life dream together. So when Angela suddenly announced she was single again and deep in her solo girl era, jaws dropped everywhere. Nobody saw that breakup coming, and the streets immediately started whispering. What really went down? Did Angela walk in on him with another woman?
It's my choice, I had to make a decision, but I think there's a certain level of like what I can share and would share publicly, you know what I mean? And I can publicly say that I'm not with him anymore. But as far as like details, I would just never.
Were those rumors about him and Glorilla actually true? The internet was losing its mind trying to connect the dots. But Angela's side of the story, way darker than anyone expected. She admitted she already knew dating a rapper meant competition from other women. That's part of the lifestyle, but what she didn't sign up for was being dragged into a street war that's been bubbling behind the scenes. According to Angela, things got so tense she felt like her safety was on the line. With folks still furious about young Dolph's death, she hinted that the tension around Yo Gotti's CMG crew might explode any minute. She even said the situation's so heavy that police might have to start building a serious case around the whole CMG circle just to keep the peace. So what's really happening here, and does Angela have a legit reason to fear for her safety? Everyone knows Angela and Yo Gotti's saga has been a roller coaster from day one, but the chase was wild, even by celebrity standards. Yo Gotti pursued her like she was air he couldn't live without, professing his love in public for 6 straight years until she finally said yes and agreed to a date at the start of 2023. Once they locked in, the vibe went luxury level fast. No breaks, just gifts, trips, and big energy all around. He showered her with presents, showed respect to her family life, and Angela even spoke like he might be the one, hinting that marriage was on the table because he seemed fully locked on her. Folks swore the king of Memphis had finally crowned his queen, and the city was ready to stamp that union for the long haul. But almost as soon as they went official, everything snapped back the other way and the breakup chatter hit hard. Angela confirmed on the Angie Martinez podcast that it was over, and the moment she said it, people online started rereading the timeline like detectives, catching little signs that trouble might have been lurking in the background the whole time. The smiles were there, but so were tiny glitches that suddenly looked louder in hindsight. Angela added that she wasn't comfortable spelling out the exact reasons. She kept it respectful, saying it wasn't what she wanted, but it was the move she had to make for herself. That line hit different because it sounded less like drama and more like self-protection. And when someone chooses peace over pressure in the spotlight, that says everything without saying too much. She said walking away was the best move for her. So were Yo Gotti and Angela low-key rocky the whole time and just playing nice for the blogs. Fans couldn't process how she went from calling him the one to saying leaving was the smartest choice ever, and it had people blinking hard like, wait, what changed this fast? Something felt off, and when things don't add up, the internet grabs a magnifying glass. Fast. Word started spinning that Yo Gotti's attention might have drifted toward Glorilla after he surprised her with a luxury Cadillac Escalade IQ for her 25th birthday, and that gift had timelines yelling plot twist in real time. Then folks remembered he'd already laced her with pricey watches before, and the chatter got even louder like, hold on, what's really the vibe here? Now yes, Glorilla is signed to CMG, so gifts could be business and nothing more, but you know how these music circles get. Lines blur and rumors sprint before facts can tie their shoes. This wouldn't be the first time an artist and a boss got linked up allegedly, and that allegedly is doing all the heavy lifting here because nobody's dropping verified receipts, just whispers, clips, and timelines connecting dots that may not connect at all. Still, people were convinced Angela tapped out early to protect her peace before any shenanigans went public and tried to play her. The story floating around was simple. Either Yo Gotti ended it or Angela dipped first because the noise about another woman was getting too loud. And if you know Angela's brand, she's not letting the internet write her ending for her. She's writing it herself, period. Angela Simmons is calling the whole narrative nonsense and standing on it loud and clear. She keeps saying that if she wanted to marry Yo Gotti, she could have, no hesitation, but the real push wasn't other women at all. It was safety and the energy in Memphis after young Dolph's murder. Once the streets leaned heavy toward Dolph's side, anyone even loosely linked to CMG or Yo Gotti started getting mentioned online, like they had a target on their back. And that's not something you play with. The names that popped up had the internet on edge, starting with Duran D. Money Childs, who reportedly joked about young Dolph and then got caught in violence during that chaotic 2022 stretch. Then there was Big Nui, signed under Moneybag Yo and cousin to Big 30, who was also shot later, with online chatter claiming he had some kind of connection to Justin Johnson, better known as Straight Drop, though a lot of that talk lives in rumor territory and needs real receipts. Straight Drop and Cornelia Smith, along with Hernandez Govan and others, were charged in Dolph's case, and blogs kept saying there were ties not just to CMG and Yo Gotti, but also to the Memphis crew known as True La Mafia, allegedly. People online even pointed at the group's OG, Joshua Taylor, aka CEO Tizzy, as a person of interest at one point, which only added fuel to a situation that was already tense and dangerous for anyone nearby, whether the internet had the facts straight or not. Then came the next tragedy. Reports said CEO Tizzy was killed, and in June 2023, word spread that he died from gunshot wounds at the scene before help could arrive. The list of casualties didn't stop there either. By September 2022, news broke that Memphis rapper Lotta Cash Desto had been shot multiple times and passed away before she could make it to the hospital, and all of this together painted a picture that would make anyone rethink their future, especially someone living in the spotlight like Angela. At first, it didn't make sense why anyone would come for her because she looked totally removed from anything tied to young Dolph's murder, right? Then people learned she's the daughter of Hernandez Govan, named by authorities as a key suspect in Dolph's case, and suddenly the picture flipped overnight, with folks online saying the streets were drawing lines that didn't care about family ties at all. The next hit only made things feel colder, because in August 2023, police reported that a man named Tomal Benson was killed, and that was Black Youngsta's brother, according to multiple reports. Black Youngsta, a CMG artist, was one of the earliest to clash with Dolph on Yo Gotti's side, and blogs claimed he'd even been tangled in the tension from the jump, though a lot of that talk lives in allegedly territory and needs receipts to stand up in court. Still, the storyline forming on the internet was that anyone near the feud could be in the crossfire, and that had people spooked for real. Meanwhile, rumors kept saying the central figure folks suspected of benefiting from Dolph's death, Yo Gotti, hadn't been touched, which only stirred the pot more online. Then came scary chatter that family members were being targeted, with one incident claiming his mother barely escaped harm, which is terrifying no matter who you root for. His big brother, Big Jook, wasn't as fortunate. After Dolph's passing, people say Big Jook mocked the tragedy in public spaces, and there's even a stray quote floating around the net, "S up, man," that fans point to as an example of reckless energy, though context is messy and the internet loves to twist clips.
I don't paint no bitch beside two real niggas. Two real niggas with a pussy in the middle, man. Y'all don't do that, man. Don't fuck up our legacy. It's a pussy right here, y'all. Two gangsters. Son, man.
Blogs also circulated claims that Big Jook put a $100,000 bounty on Dolph, again allegedly, which, if true, would explain why so many people were heated and ready to move dangerous. Either way, tension stayed up, and by January 2024, reports say Big Jook was killed while attending his uncle's funeral, a moment that shook the city because it happened during a family goodbye, which is beyond tragic. And to this day, authorities haven't publicly named suspects in Big Jook's case, and that silence only feeds the rumor mill louder. Some fans say the circle of revenge felt complete, while others argue nothing about this is complete when families are grieving and the city's still on edge. Either way, the message was clear. This wasn't regular rap beef. This was real life with real consequences. The wildest part in all this, the last 3 years of chaos shaking Memphis might have never happened if Yo Gotti had just shown a little humility and let young Dolph shine on his own. From what's being said, this all started because Gotti couldn't handle Dolph turning down an offer to sign under his label. Dolph wanted independence, the same freedom Gotti once chased when he was coming up. But instead of respecting that, Gotti allegedly took it personal, and that pride set off a domino effect nobody saw coming. What began as competition between two powerful voices in Memphis spiraled into something dark. Music turned to mayhem, and the city's been feeling the fallout ever since. folks in the streets say if egos hadn't clashed, this war wouldn't even exist. Now, things are heating up again because the way Young Dolph's murder trial is moving, Yo Gotti might be facing fresh trouble soon. One of the main suspects, Hernandez Govan, the man prosecutors accused of setting up the whole thing, was found not guilty on August 21st, 2025 of both conspiracy and first-degree murder. And get this, Govan's legal team hit hard in court, saying prosecutors dropped the ball by never questioning Big Jook or Yo Gotti, even though both had been caught up in long-standing tension with Dolph. They argued that CMG and Gotti were the ones moving the pieces behind the scenes and that Govan was just a disposable pawn in a bigger, dirtier game. The defense basically said, "You're chasing the wrong man." And somehow that argument stuck. Hernandez walked away free, and the courtroom verdict hit the internet like an explosion. Now the buzz online is that the feds are circling back, trying to piece together a bigger case that could pull Yo Gotti and CMG into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Allegedly, new connections between their team and the crime scene have people thinking a RICO investigation might already be brewing quietly behind the scenes. And Angela Simmons? She wasn't about to wait around and find out how deep that mess goes. She's reportedly told close friends that once she saw how far this beef had gone, and with bodies, trials, and feds possibly watching, she knew it was time to move different. She's not trying to be collateral damage in anyone's street war, no matter how much love or luxury came with the relationship. Now that Hernandez Govan is walking free, folks are divided. Some say justice wasn't served for Dolph, others say the real story hasn't even started yet. The streets are restless, the internet's convinced Yo Gotti's next, and everyone's watching to see if that rumored RICO really lands. And honestly, after everything that's gone down, nobody would be shocked if it does. If a RICO ever lands on Yo Gotti's doorstep, Angela Simmons isn't sticking around to play Bonnie and Clyde, she's choosing peace over pressure, period. Whack 100 has been out here saying, Yo Gotti about to get a RICO next, and that's got timelines buzzing like crazy. Real talk, don't jump into street drama you don't need, because once the system steps in, it's not a game anymore. There's a dark crowd that loves watching chaos like it's a movie, treating real life like cops and robbers for clicks and views. Disgusting. The whispers online are wild. People claim Young Dolph's supporters went after anyone they believed was tied to his death until the alleged shooters ran to the police for protection, which shows how fast street justice turns into tragedy for everybody. Some folks online even say the silence from certain friends told its own story. No RIP, no empathy, just more pain stacked on pain. Now the hot take is that Yo Gotti is cooked. But let's be clear, allegations aren't convictions, and the internet loves to crown a verdict before a judge ever speaks. Was Angela smart for stepping off before things got uglier, or is all this RICO talk just a reach to stir the pot? Sound off below, and let's keep it respectful. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to Gossip Confidential for the next drop.